Okay, we need to have a conversation about female prison guards. Because honestly, I don't know why we allow female prison guards because this keeps happening. Female prison guards in male prisons keep having affairs with the men in prison because I think there's a kind of self-selection bias going on here, and this is something we should probably be prohibiting. This is one of those examples where actually discrimination is needed. We shouldn't have women guarding men in prison, and by the same token, I'm sure we don't have men guarding women in women's prisons, and if we do, we shouldn't. This is the case of a probation officer having a romantic relationship with a prisoner at Belmarsh. Bethany Dent Reynolds, 27, is having an affair with Kieran Robinson, a prisoner there. And it's not like she's a hideous hag or anything, so she's obviously chosen this job to find guys. And so she got suspended and she's on bail, and this just keeps happening. Again, these women aren't hideous hags. This is Megan Breen, 23, an operational support staff member with direct contact with prisoners, began an inappropriate relationship with an inmate at H&P Prescode in Usk, Monmouthshire. And so she's, again, just having an affair with a prisoner. And the thing is, she apparently had accessed the prison database, trying to find a photo of the inmate, and then admitted she had slept with him during a trip to Liverpool. The court heard how the prisoner, jailed for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs, had met Breen while on home leave, blah, 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 right? So, I mean, do I have to explain why this is happening? You know, I think I'm going to have to. Here's another one. HMP Wandsworth prison officer filmed having sex with an inmate. She was sentenced to 15 months. Can't help but notice, again, she's not exactly a hideous hag either. I think these women might just have a type. And I think that this type might be heavily concentrated in prisons. This is Linda D'Souza Brew, 31, who's at HMP Wandsworth in London, and she went into the prisoner's cell and had sex with him. Good for him, I suppose, to be honest. But obviously, this should not be allowed. And the thing is, as well, they keep doing other things for these prisoners, as in they're basically trying to build relationships with these prisoners. And this is not exactly the purpose of a prison, and I can't help but notice that there's a consistent profile here. And in fact, this seems to be mostly a British thing, in fact, an English thing. This seems to be English women doing this a lot. Here's another one. Northamptonshire prison officer arrested after filmed having sex with an inmate. What was this woman's name? Weirdly, they don't actually tell us her name. They talk about the other example that I've just referenced, the Linda D'Souza, but for some reason they don't actually tell us this woman's name, which is weird. But she was filmed having sex with an inmate. Footage of the female guard and male prisoner was shared with other inmates at the privately run prison. The officer was suspended from her role and the inmate was transferred to another jail. Well, I mean, I don't even know if the inmate needs to do anything. I mean, has he even done anything wrong, actually? I know this is going to sound weird, but it's not his. He hasn't got like a moral duty not to have sex with the guards. They have a moral duty not to have sex with the inmates. I know I'm laughing because it's so stupid that I have to be saying this, but I'm not even sure the inmate has actually done anything wrong here. But anyway, yeah, the prison custody officer was suspended and arrested by Northamptonshire police on suspicion of misconduct in a public office. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. And again, just they get shared around. Apparently they've got mobile phones or something. And this is obviously baffling everyone. Why is this happening? In one jail, 18 women. One jail, 18 women were fired for having affairs with the fucking prisoners. It's like, look, guys, I don't want to be a big noticer about this, but it seems you're hiring a bunch of fucking whores to guard men who themselves, I guess, are kind of rough. I guess that's kind of their type. And I think that the easiest way to fix this would just be not hiring a bunch of women to guard the men. It's just so ridiculous. Again, not exactly a swamp hag, is she? Like, it's just really weird. Can you imagine if you're in prison? It's like, why are there so many beautiful blonde women wandering around being my prison guards? Like, This is so weird. Like, it's hard to... I can't stop laughing because it's so stupid. But this is genuinely something that has to be addressed, I think. I mean, look at this. Like, Joanne Hunter, 28, jailed for 3 years after having a relationship with an inmate and smuggling him cannabis out of the prison. Just, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like, oh no, this is about equality. This is about fairness. No, this is about whores getting their jollies in prisons when they're supposed to be prison officers. This is not about like equality or fairness or anything like that. I love this. General Secretary of the Prison Officers Association, Mark Fairhurst, cited poor training and vetting procedures as being responsible for many officers succumbing to corruption. No, you keep hiring whores. You keep putting women in charge of male prisons, and you wonder why they keep shagging the prisoners. I bet. I'm going to look this up. I found this on prisonandprobationjobs.gov.uk. Here's Dawn's story. I'll always remember the very first day on the wings. I don't think it's something you forget. I was only 21 years old. I was completing my training at HMP Wakefield. I was offered a position as a prison officer at women's prison. At this time, only female prison officers could work in women's prisons. Well, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Makes perfect fucking sense. Why wouldn't it be like that, right? But after 12 months, the rules changed and women were allowed to work in male prisons. And apparently, LBC informed us that in the last 3 years, 29 women have been fired for shagging the prisoners. And so she moved over to one of the male prisons. Thankfully, there are many more female prison officers these days. It's unacceptable to allow this to happen. But, you know, the rules changed. Why? For equality, obviously. Complete equality. So the BBC are like, why do prison officers engage in intimate relationships with inmates? I wonder why. Here's Julie Turton, in charge of 160 inmates at HMP Birmingham. She is used to things because she had an affair with inmate Danny King. And then there was Rebecca King. This was back in 2004. There's 2009, an officer who had a baby. It's like, why are we allowing that? Sorry, what are we doing here? Right? Obviously, women should not be guarding men's prisons. Like, I don't feel that this is a very controversial thing for me to say. There should be absolute sex segregation in male and female prisons on both the inmates and the guards to prevent this kind of thing. I mean, apparently, female prisoners in England and Wales have been coerced into having sex with both male and female staff in return for favours such as alcohol and cigarettes, according to a report. Okay, then make it so that that's less likely to happen by preventing male staff from being in women's prisons. And the problem is, it's the consensual relationships that are the issue, right? But what I love about this is Mr. Godsey said that inmates often acted differently to how they act on the outside because they want to avoid trouble. Inmates can gain privileges, while officers feel at ease knowing their man has returned to their cell. Some of these women officers have a history of difficult or abusive relationships, but this is safe. They cannot be violent because there's a lot of people around. However, such relationships remain rare. Barry Pickering, who worked at Featherstone Prison in South Staffordshire for 13 years until retiring, says relationships could develop between the officers themselves and whatnot, but he was aware of no cases where an officer entered into a sexual relationship with an inmate. Yeah, because probably back in 2004, it was all men working in the men's prisons. The thought would have been incomprehensible. Yeah, why would I want to shag Big Ted, the fucking murderer or whatever, like, because you're in an all-male prison. Because you're not some 28-year-old woman who's looking for some kicks, okay? You, Barry, or whatever your name was, don't understand. Yeah, Barry Pickering, you don't understand why anyone would want to shag a prisoner. Okay, yeah, got it. Understood. Completely understood. When asked about recent cases, says, I don't know if there's a common denominator. Maybe the officer is flattered by the attraction of a younger guy. No, maybe we're self-selecting here, right? What kind of woman in her 20s is like, I want to be a prison guard in a men's prison? I mean, I'm just saying, this is definitely an issue, right? We've what, and why are they asking Barry here? Obviously, Barry doesn't know why these women are doing it, right? But I can tell you why they're doing it. It's because they think it's hot. Right? It's because they think bad boys are hot. And I tell you what, it's harder to find a badder boy than a fucking prisoner. Someone who has definitely done something wrong and is in fucking jail. Like, honestly, am I the last, like, sane person on Earth or something? So, yeah, well, we changed the rules because we didn't want to be discriminatory. And so now, 28-year-old women are just guarding male prisoners and smuggling them drugs and getting railed in their fucking cells. I mean, what are we doing? Oh. And Barry doesn't know why it happened. It never happened when he was a prison guard in an all-male prison back in 2004. Weirdly, we didn't think about shagging the prisoners. Yeah, I bet you didn't. Obviously, is it the bad boy thing? Yes. It is the danger that they are being attracted to. They think that's hot. They think that it makes them very special and desired, and it makes them... Some women enjoy the danger. I don't know how to explain it any more clearly than this. I mean, come on. Obviously, we have to make sure that prisons are sex segregated entirely. We can't allow this. This is wrong, obviously. And this is, I mean, it's such a self-evident thing, right? It's so self-evident. I shouldn't have to explain it. It shouldn't be that in the last 3 years, 29 women have been fired for shagging prisoners. That shouldn't be, because it shouldn't be something that they have an option to do. Like, it should be inaccessible to them. And it's just another, like, pathetic roll down the hill for the boulder of how shit our country is. Just another standard, another layer, just clunk, clunk, clunk. It's like we're falling through a dilapidated house. And every time you think you hit the bottom, no, actually you're not on the bottom layer, crunch. That collapses in on something as well. It's so pathetic. So stupid. Oh, no. I thought she wanted to be a prison officer in the men's prison for just, I don't know, civic duty reasons. Look at her. Of course she fucking doesn't. Of course she doesn't. For the love of God. Again, I just feel like I'm the last sane man on Earth.